Hi, everyone. My name is Monika Marczuk. I'm a professional holistic practitioner. And every Friday, I hold these healing sessions where we can come on. You can come on live or you can listen to the recording. But I do this a body talk session for overall health and wellness. And in today's work, what we're going to be working with is your life path. So I had someone reach out to me and say that she would like me to address how do I know for swift and ease to be put on the right life path. So that in itself um, there's a few things going on. So I'm just going to go quiet for a minute and see where this dis-ease or thinking that you're not on your life path. So maybe you feel stuck, maybe you're going through a difficult time. Maybe there's a passage that you need to go through. So something is falling apart, whether it be a relationship or a job, or maybe not even falling apart, just shifting and changing, and the context of the relationship is changing, or you're moving. So all of these kind of big life, well, I don't want to say big life transitions, but the changes. So we'll just kind of put it under the scope of something is changing. I don't like how it feels. It feels a little bit like the carpet's been pulled out from underneath you, and make sure that I'm on my right life path or that it's ease with ease and swift. So, of course, when you're going through something that's difficult, um, you want it to pass quickly. But there's a shift in perspective that can happen here. Instead of go focusing on the difficulty, as the difficulty is difficult enough as it is on its own. You don't need to think about how difficult the situation is. I know the mind gets involved, and maybe if you're taking the situation personally, maybe you're taking it to heart and you think that you failed or done something wrong or what kind of decisions you've made. Now, not all, I've made bad decisions in my life, but I take responsibility for those decisions and move forward from there. So there's just all of these aspects or moving pieces that are coming into today's work. And we're gonna start to, it's coming in through the diaphragm, the small intestines going down into the lower gut, where we need to start using the small intestines' natural ability to discern, how pulling the dross or the excess from the pure. And then a new shift in a perspective can happen from here to instead of looking at what's happening to you or the difficulty that you may be going through, instead of why is this happening to me? I want to get out of this situation really quickly. I want things to change. I want things to be different and it happen quickly. You can have what I do, and maybe you can do and play with this idea for yourself is why is this happening for me? What is what is happening? How is it benefiting me? Or what's it doing for me? Maybe there's some life lessons that you need to learn. Maybe to pull the wool off your eyes and actually see your role in your life situation. Maybe pull the wool off your eyes and see how your habits are affecting your health or the health of your loved ones or the quality of your relationships. So, in this session, we're going to tune into, as we just had the full moon, and now we're in the waning moon. And the waning moon is a retraction, is a retreat, is a pulling away. So, it's a perfect time to start to let the victim Oh, there is a shift there. The victim mentality, the I wish this wasn't happening to me mentality, the woe is me, or make it swift. I want things to change, or even taking things personally mentality. Move, helping that we're anchoring into that waning moon so we can start to shift, shift that perspective for you. So I was talking about the wool over your eyes. So, Paul, we're going to go ahead and do a five senses dumping of the filters that you wear over your eyes. We all have filters from which we see the world. So this is, some people have those rose-colored glasses where, even if your arm's fallen off, you're like, well, it's okay if my arm's fallen off. Um, I know that's an extreme example, but there's people that see things not for what they are, but only from that lens of positivity, which can go into dysfunction. And then those people who only see, let's say, have a tendency, not only, but have a tendency to see things, from the gray filter where they focus on the bad, what maybe you focus on the negative or the bad. So we're dumping these filters either way because they can lead to dysfunction or a skewing of reality. Either way, we're going to pull off those filters, anchor it to the heart to individuate so those filters can fall away, using that waning moon to help drawing those filters from your eyes so you can actually see what is. Perhaps it's I'm not eating well and it's hurting my body. Perhaps it's I'm not moving enough and I need to move my body in a different way. Perhaps it's I'm over exercising and you've hurt yourself. Perhaps it's within your relationships. Perhaps you take a look at your role and take responsibility for the part you played, let's say in that relationship falling apart, or with your children, for example. Children are coming up here. Take a look at your parenting where perhaps it was too laissez-faire, too hands off. Maybe you missed where care and empathy was needed. So pulling away those filters so you can actually see what is. Even if what you're seeing, what is, isn't so great, from there you can take responsibility by taking responsibility for yourself, your choices, your attitudes, your perspective, your emotions, and that responsibility helps to culminate the next step forward from this place. So letting go of dysfunction of perspective, that dysfunctional perspective, whether it be woe is me or that where positivity goes into apathy, everything's fine and I don't need to do anything about it. My life is fine. And next thing you know, you're bankrupt. And so those are extreme examples, but just using those extremes so you can start thinking for yourself or bringing those experiences where perhaps it was you have a tendency somewhere, so we can start to drain those from the eyes, dumping those subtle filters from the eyes um, that's from what you see, that is your reality. So you can have a shift in perspective here. So I'm going to anchor that to the heart using that waning moon to help release those filters, whatever they are. There is a burp there. All right, I'm going to tap that part in right here. Now we're going to bring in some gratitude. I know that for one of the things that I do, and sometimes, sometimes I miss it, or I notice that I can get caught up. If you can get caught up in what's happening, especially if there's a difficult situation that you're in, sometimes it's very easy to get swept away with, oh, there's another burp there. So there's shifting happening, and we're in the diaphragm and small intestines now. specifically the duodenum, to get caught up in the story of what's happening, taking what's happening really personally. You need to here release that emotional content from the diaphragm. So if you're experiencing a breakup, so this person who reached out to me and asked me to take a look at this topic, and they're maybe going through a difficult time. Maybe you can think about any difficult time that you've been through in your life. Most people go through difficulty one time or another, and it can get lodged in parts of the body, even though you may not be experiencing difficulty now. At some point in your life, you did, or you will. It's just the roll of the dice. That's how it goes. And that emotional content and those stories or those active memories can get caught in parts of the body. And then for today's work, it's caught in the diaphragm and it's making it's weighing heavy on the diaphragm. It's really hard to take a full breath. I'm just staying in my lungs, which tells me that the rest of my intuition, that enteric brain, that discernment, and the rest of my organs that make up this whole body mind, aren't getting enough air and oxygen and energy, and the chi and the emotions are not flowing through down to that gut so they can be transmuted into wisdom. And any experiences that are ready to be released, any active memories that are ready to be released, could go down into the colon, into the large intestines to actually let it go. So it's not clogging up the system. And so it feels like the diaphragm is really wet with emotional content. It almost feels swampy and soupy. So what we're going to do here is we're going to drain that excess fluid, that emotionality connected to life experiences and stories and things that you've gone through, perhaps difficulty, even if you're not having a difficult time right now, that it's whatever you had difficulty you have had stuck here. So we're going to run active memories to difficult situations in your life. So whether that be a divorce, a separation, a loss of a job, a loss of um, health or a family member, or difficulty with your relationship with children, relating to people. So there's so many things you can have difficulties with. You can bring for yourself your difficulties that you're either going through or that you have gone through, that, it still pulls at your heartstrings when you think about it. And we're going to start to drain that through a lymphatic drainage, really focusing on the lymph within the abdomen, and let that go through the lymph of the groin down through the knees. We're going to let this drain. We're going to bring in a healthy hydration here to help that excess swampy fluid go, bringing active memory threads out through here. So dumping active memories through that uh, diaphragm, releasing that diaphragm, opening it up. We need to do an improvement on the functioning of the cells, not only their communication with each other, but the communication, how they relate to the emotions traveling through your body. So you've got 5 basic emotions, and they help you. They help guide you, they heal, they're supportive. Now, when the mind gets caught up, or you start thinking about your emotions, or you start thinking about experiences, and those emotions get caught up with thought, they can turn pathological, get stuck, and start to cause they can cause problems, right? Really emotional. So we're going to do a repair to the cells and their communication with each other. We're going to run this as a seed through the cells, through the diaphragm. So they're talking really well with each other. And then also doing a repair on the communication between your emotions and your cells, which is really cool. There we go. So that they're not getting stuck, that they're that the emotions move, energy in motion, and it moves through the body. And then the cells do what the cells do in a healthy way and start are in good communication with each other. And we've got to bring in here a balance. We're going to do a 5 elements balance within the diaphragm to access water. So we're going to bring in, there we go. We're going to bring a balanced water with wood. So that wood could suck up that water. We need a little bit of the earth element too, so it's not getting swampy. Those elements within the diaphragm are working well here and balanced. Oh, that's got to bring in some that dry land so it can soak up the water and the wood, like trees, can flourish from that water. They can grow from there. So transmuting any emotional content into wisdom. Well, there is a big burp. Now we need to go into, this is linking into the tongue. Uh, and we need to cleanse the tongue, the microbiome of the tongue, from lies you have told. So lies that you've told yourself, lies that you've spoken out loud, even if this is bending the truth to either get what you want or to avoid punishment. So it may seem that lying in the short term can get you what you want, but in the long term, um, it weakens your integrity, weakens your character, and then the ramifications of lying come at you tenfold, right? Because then, maybe people don't believe you, or you start to doubt your self-doubt starts to set in. So I'm feeling really dizzy here. So we're going to use a bioenergetics, and also body chemistry to cleanse the tongue of lies that you've told. Now, usually people lie for two reasons, either to avoid punishment or to get what they want in the short term. So you can think for yourself where you've lied to yourself. It could even be placating yourself, right? Oh, it's not so bad. Here comes my buddy Theodore for the session. Oh, it's not so bad. Um, oh, I'll just hang out for a little bit. Let's say it's a relationship that you know should have come to an end way before, and you've lied to yourself. Maybe it's lies you tell your children, lies that you tell your coworkers or your boss. So we're just dumping this lies from the tongue because it actually creates poison breath. And then I'm seeing like a forked tongue, speaking with a forked tongue. So you want the mouth to speak truth, that truth comes spontaneously from your lips, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's scary, even if um, you may not get what you want. The ramifications of not telling the truth are tenfold. And it seems like by telling the truth, you forge your way into your most biggest adventure of your life. So there's a little bit of listen to Jordan Peterson a lot, and I've been listening to a lot of his podcasts, and each of his guests that have come on have spoken about and how them finally telling the truth has led to, let's say, their success or an adventure or to paths unknown. But the catalyst was always I stopped lying and I started telling the truth. Um, so what we're going to do here is dump lies, dump the toxicity of lies that you tell um, from the tongue. with a biogenics and a body chemistry, general body chemistry, to help balance the pH of your mouth so it comes more alkaline. And then we're going to link that to the heart, your heart of hearts, so that inner truth, not my truth, but what is that inner knowing, that godliness within you, that divinity within you. Oh, and I'm feeling so emotional here. So, whew, I wasn't expecting that to come up. So that divinity can come forth from your mouth. So you can tell the truth, whew, even when it's difficult. Oh, you can tell the truth even when it's difficult. All right. I'm going to tap this session in for everyone. Oh, I was not expecting so much emotion to come up with that last link. Oh, thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for finding my channel. If you found this work benefited you, or you notice something within yourself, shift within yourself, please like, subscribe, and share. Let's get this healing out to the world. Lord knows we all need some TLC in this difficult time that our whole planet seems to be going through. And this is a place where we can come together for healing as a heart-centered connection. So thank you all for liking, sharing, and subscribing. And I will see you all next time.